$68,500. Yeah. 500 to 2,000 square feet of land. The net is not far from the gross. Once you make your capital expenditure, right, which is about $10,000, and the largest majority of that is your cooler, and that's $5,000, and you built it yourself. And I give you the instructions of exactly how to do that. So once you make your capital expenditure, you don't have to have a cooler. You don't even have to have a rototiller. All you really need is strong will, perseverance, and a shovel and some seeds. The way to go. Because Wally does segments, which is 1,000 square feet. He has it all under workflow as how long it takes to get it to the show. Turn it over. And you don't need to own any land. So because your net and your gross are very close to one another, gee, I wonder what you'd rather do. 22 weeks. David wins. Aren't you happy about this? Well, why does he win this season? Well, here we go again. California, 50% of the market in fruits, nuts, vegetable, dairy, and wine. That's what California supplies the country.
50%.
And in Chicago, 2.715 million eaters. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about, so does anybody have any questions on land base and land allocation based on revenue?
You said you got the 1, 2, 3 rule. That's 3 segments, 3 types of relays.
Well, one would be just as a minute, no relay. 2 would be 2, high relay. And then your high intensive area would be 3 or more. So those are the 3 categories. A single harvest, 2 harvests in a season, 3 to 5 harvests in a
So
season.
what's 75, 25?
Well, if you would, well, let's say if you have a very small land base, you're not going to be growing anything. You're going to do 75% in a high value crop and 25% in a moderate land. You're going to cut out the tomatoes. You won't have peppers or eggplant. You know, you have to wait the whole season.
Greens are the highest.
They're the highest value.
There's a lot of greens.
Greens are the highest value crop, and I'm going to give you a little bit of insight into greens because they call me the lettuce lady. I love everything about lettuce. I sing lettuce entertaining when I plant the seeds. I like to harvest it. I like when it comes up and it looks like a little beard. I like to wash it. I like to bag it. I like everything about it. But what I've noticed over the course of my lifetime is lettuce is so delicate and it's really very tender. And it's 85% to 90% water. So what I do, this is my method. Excuse me, of harvesting lettuce. Let me just get a little slug of this. 9.5 alkaline ionized water. Lettuce. I told you lettuce. Oh, that's before the first break. Oh, boy, we have a party now. Lettuce, and it's a little tricky because I'm a biodynamic farmer and I use a certain calendar. We'll get into that later. But this is how I work my lettuce. If it hadn't rained the night before I want to harvest it, I'll put on an aerial sprayer so it gets nice and wet. And I'll do that after the sun's gone down. And so it has plenty of time all night long to dry up. Really what I'm doing is cleaning it. I'm taking all the soil and pushing it to the ground. Then early the next morning, but way before the sun comes up, I go and I harvest that lettuce. I do not wash my lettuce. My lettuce is not soiled, but it's not cleaned by me. Because no matter who you sell food to, they are going to take it home and they are going to wash it. But you have to tend to lettuce in a certain way. So you cut it way before the sun comes up, and you weigh it, and you bag it, and you put it in your cooler. That's it. It's ready for I'm telling you, washing it and spinning it is a big process. And when you go on the Google group, you can put in different threads. Like you can put in you can see a thread about. There's a lot of talk about greens, and people have come up with all different ways. I mean, I've tried a washing machine, the wringer taken out. I mean, I've tried screen door screens, suspended bungee cords from the ceiling. You have to make jimmies, though. By the way, you have to make jimmies. You have to think of things. Like even yesterday, when this banner was on the floor, and someone was looking for tape, my mind already started to. He said, "I got that extension cord. If I bend it in half, put it through the grommet, and then just tie it to the table this way, but it wouldn't fit." But your mind always has to be clicking through different processing and do it in your head first. You got to do it in your head now, right now, because where am I going to process this food? Okay, here's my phone. Okay, here's my land allocation. Right, I've got my land allocation. Okay, after I harvest this, what am I going to do? Where am I going to take it? You've got to think that through. It doesn't have to be any fancy. It's Rubbermaid tubs you're working with. You need the hose. You need the table. I need music. But you want it in the shade. You don't want it out in the open, And I'm going to tell you something. You can take it for whatever it's worth. The older people, I don't know if you have nursing homes around here or senior citizens community, they love to sit there and chat and process produce. They love to weigh it and to wash it. They enjoy it. And you get a benefit of getting all those stories from them too, the old and the young. Because it's about a community, gathering around this. So you have to think about, where am I going to put my processing area in relation to my cooler? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about spin farming without a cooler. Let's just look at it without a cooler. Now, can you do it without a cooler? Of course you can. You can't do it without a cooler. But what's going to happen is you're going to have to harvest everything very close to the time that your market is. Because lettuce, once it's cut, it starts to tick, because all it wants to do when it's cut from the mother, and that's the earth, it wants to compost. That's all it wants to do. It wants to go back to soil. So you have to harvest everything, and this all is about workflow. You have to harvest everything early in the morning because you can't have the heat of the day inside the leaf of the lettuce. The heat of the day is already gone. And then you want to get that cooled to a temperature of 40 degrees. Now, what I do with my lettuce, and this is how I sell my lettuce, and we'll get into this in marketing, because as a spin farmer, I do mix and match. And I know from, selling hundreds of thousands of bouquets, through Costco wholesale, 26 locations in 6 states, I know what a consumer perceives as value. And it has to do, when it comes to leafy greens, it has to do with the eye. We weigh our lettuce way beforehand, and we put it in plastic bags. And what I do is I go to an orchard, and I ask someone, they said, "You have orchards here?" And they can tell you the supplier for the plastic bags with the holes in it, right? And I weigh my lettuce 1/3 of a pound, and then I put it in the plastic bag. I flip it over 3 times, and I tie a little thing in it, and I put it in the cooler, so it makes like a little puffy greenhouse, but there's air. The air can circulate through there. Now I sell that lettuce at market $3 each, 2 for $5. It's the eye. The mother is going to look at that lettuce and say, "Can I make a salad out of that? Can I make a salad for my family? And it's $3. Is it worth that? But I could get it for $2.50. I could get 2 for $5. And then you have on your table all mix and match items, So you have to find out where that level is. And I suggest you go to the supermarket, just write it all down. What's it going for? What did it go for? Because what it will go for, it can't go for anything because it's not even going to exist. How are we doing for time, honey?
Oh, we're good.
good, we're good. What, I didn't, 10 o'clock will be your break time. 10 o'clock, okay. So that is, so we have touched upon workflow, high road, low road. Yeah, someone had asked me about the inside of the cooler, see the rubber mains?
Okay.
You want circulation, you want air, everything is just really, bunched and ready to go. But it doesn't have to be. You could harvest, right? You could harvest all your greens in the morning, stick it in one of those tubs, put the lid on it, put it in the cooler, and process it in the afternoon.
How big is
Mine is 10 by 10. I have a whole behind. I have a trailer cooler.
Okay.
I'm building a freestanding this season.
So is there a particular size that it should be, or?
It's based on the volume of food you want to put in it. I would recommend that, it all depends on how you want to go about it. I mean, I would just love to see this community have one cooler that people could bring their stuff to keep it cool, because you don't need 10 coolers. Because I would say that if you're building your own cooler, you want it on the bigger side than on the smaller side, because you're going to be successful, and you don't want to have to build it again. Now, sometimes, I don't know if there's a lot out this way, but you can pick up a walk-in box. Craigslist sometimes. I mean, Chicago, restaurants close. So that's really what you're looking for, a walk-in box. But, they're all right. I'm going to tell you, compressors, they're for the birds. Freon, like it's gold. $485 for a can this big of Freon. Woo! And those compressors, they're very tricky. They're just very sensitive. So the cooler that I'll be building this season, and that we recommend that you build, is made out of 3/4 inch plywood and 4-inch rigid insulation, floor ceiling, all walls, and then a walk-in box door, the regular, like the delis, big steel doors, and then what cools it is an air conditioner. And it's a certain type of air conditioner. And then you buy another system called a CoolBot, B-O-T system. And what that does is it reduces the minimum internal temperature of the air conditioner from 60 to 40. Because nobody wants their living room to be 40 degrees. Very inexpensive, a lot cheaper than a compressor and Freon. Look at the price of air conditioners. And we have one farm that has been using the same air conditioner for 27 years. So, there's something to be said about it.
Can you explain that CoolBot a little bit?
Yeah, the CoolBot system, it connects to the air conditioner. And what it does to the air conditioner is reduces the air conditioner minimum temperature from 60 to 40. Because nobody would want their living room to go down to 40 degrees. You wouldn't go home and say, oh honey, put the air on 40. I mean, you just wouldn't do it.
So what is that in comparison to a refrigerator?
Excuse me?
How is that in comparison to a refrigerator?
Well, it's a lot, the building it yourself with an air conditioning unit is a lot less expensive than buying a walk-in box. By far a lot less expensive because it's not stainless steel, and it works. I feel that it works better because I have a trailer, I have a compressor. It needed Freon 3 times a
I
season.
don't mean like a big vanity freezer. I mean a regular refrigerator.
Oh,
Really the same thing.
Too small.
I mean, but you could.
it's not the right box. It's not the right vessel. The next best thing, the next best thing would be one of those soda. Like when you go to the gas station, you have the soda in the refrigerators there. That would be better than a regular house refrigerator. House refrigerators, they kill the produce.
You want to, if possible, you want the customer as soon as you harvest, because he or she is seeing that fresh vegetable right there. Now, if you wait too long now, it's going to.
Well, which stands for an acronym for Community Supported Agriculture Program. How many of you know what that is? Okay, I'm going to explain it for those who do not. CSAs came out of the 70s, and it was actually a biodynamic formula that started in California, the CSA movement. And it's when a client purchases in advance a share of your harvest. So, let's say, and it's all based on the number of weeks. Okay, my region, I can go 22 to 24 weeks with my season. So I base my CSA shares on a 22-week season. My shares are $800. So, I just sold, not really, let's say I just sold you a share. You give me $800. And you come to my farm every week for 22 weeks and pick up your share of my harvest. That is a CSA share. It's not the best distribution model, and I'll tell you why. Because a lot of people get, like, let's say you have a lot of kale, right? So they would get a bigger amount of kale in their share for that week, right? But they pick up that bag and say, I don't like kale. Or I don't even know what the heck this is. But people buy CSA shares. I mean, it's not something that is, that's one form of revenue. So when I say CSA share, that could mean either an email campaign, that I pass out the pink papers. Every Monday you're going to find the eaters and you're going to ask them, you want them to email them your availability, and then they just buy your food. Or some different mode of CSA share. Your second revenue stream is, honey, could you flip those lights on over there? That's why everybody's falling asleep. Oh, I didn't know what. See, everybody's falling asleep. The lights are up. All right, to say it's nap time. All right, take out your mats. Take out your mats. It's time to come in. So, your second revenue stream is going to be your farmers markets. Now, you decide what your goal is for that market, okay? And you decide how many markets you're going to participate in. So let's say hypothetically, and I'll give you a benchmark, minimum $600 a market. Minimum. That would be, a newbie. First year, 1,000 a market, and a trained professional, 2,000 up a market. No, not per week. Per market. So if you do 2 markets, and you're a newbie, that'd be $1,200. That would be your revenue stream for the 22 weeks, okay? That's what you're going to put in your business plan, right? So you make these decisions. You say, okay, I'm going to do 2 markets, and my minimum is $600, so do the math.
So looking at your market, you were in like 4 markets?
What, honey?
You were in 4 markets with your particular farm?
2, but I have a lot of movement with those pink papers.
Would you yourself be at the market?
Yes.
Because a lot of times the markets, at least in Chicago, fall on Saturdays, Sundays.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would go myself. I did one in the Bronx. And boy, that was a tough one, man. So I had to leave like 4 o'clock in the morning. And driving here, people are very courteous here. You drive in the Bronx, they want you dead. They really want you dead. Off the road, you're driving this speed limit. Kill it! And there you are, pulling this refrigerated trailer, saying, please, please, please. So yeah, but I really changed my philosophy. I've changed my philosophy that everyone you see is eating food. Period. That's it. So you just have to find out where they live. Meaning, like, are there factories? Was that GM factory there? Or, I don't know. I always look for the big places.
Sears.
How many people are eating go to their management and say, look, I'm a farmer. I would like to offer your employees a benefit. What do you think they're going to say? No, get the hell out of here with that food. We don't want to eat. I don't. They say, really? And you say, really? And if they get nasty, then you say, no food for you. Next. Because we haven't done any of that, folks. You know, we haven't done any of that. The way we've lived our life is that poor is to be humble. You know. We only want, you know, just give me enough, never ask for extra. That is a lack mentality. That has got to leave the room because it's a lie. It's a big old lie. And it's a good lie. They got us under their spell. So let's see.
What's the third?
Oh, wholesale. And the way we sell wholesale is by the box. And I do it by $20. See this box? It's $20. That's it. You get the same amount of tomatoes. You know, $20. And you get people, those restaurants want it. Let me tell you why they want it. You know, I've done a lot of things in my life. When I first started, I managed, I was the controller of 4-star restaurants on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. So what does that mean? That means when the guy that cut the chicken didn't come in, guess who was cutting the chicken? That's what that meant. But I learned the food business. And the biggest problem in the food business is waste. So if you buy greens today, and they excuse my expression, shit the bed 2 days from now, that's taking money right out of your bank account. But because you cut this lettuce on Monday, and that restaurateur got it on Friday, that lettuce will keep in his cooler for 6 weeks. If it's grown live. Because I don't know any other. I've had people, I'm forever giving people food. I'm surprised. 6 weeks. It will last fresh in that cooler for 6 weeks. You know why? Because the lettuce you're eating is coming from 3,000 miles away. How much number one life force do you think that lettuce has? It's done. It's on the way out. It's on the way out. You know, so yeah, 6 weeks. It'll last 6 weeks in those plastic bags with the whole. I've had people. I participate in many business networking meetings. You know, and I'm always bringing them food. Try this, try that. I had one person tell me, you know, I found your bag of lettuce in the back of the refrigerator, and it was as good as the day you gave it to me, and it's 6 weeks old. I said, I know.
So bag was the thing, right?
Yes.
But you got to bag each individual.
I bag everything. Because my table is a display. I'm not going to stand there and weigh food. I'm not going to do that. It's not about weight. It's not about weight. It's about units. We market units. And it's always mix and match. It's units, not weight. Because the value is in the eye or in the hand. When it comes to flowers, any of you are anticipating flower farming, because that is a good segment to do. With flowers, it's in the weight. Because a customer, excuse me 1 second. The consumer with a flower, a bouquet, they want to open their hand about this much. See? And they want it to weigh something. So what do? You put a sunflower in the middle and fill a flower all around and 3 other, zinnias or something, and you get $13. Now I'll tell you, I have never had anyone, not one American, question me on the price of my bouquet. But they always say, these potatoes, that guy has them for 50 cents less. Go get them from him. But I will tell you one thing that would bring each and every one of you a niche. And I would think a lot of the markets in Chicago is that you, if you embrace and learn is my business model, okay? It's my cha-ching. Biodynamics is how I take care of my farm for eons to come. It is a gift, and I say it's a gift, from Dr. Rudolf Steiner in 1924. Dr. Rudolf Steiner brought us Waldorf education, eurythmy as a dance, theosophy as a philosophy. He was one of the great thinkers of our time, and an agriculture course, like as I believe, is none other. And it is the way that I fertilize my land. It's the way that I control pests. It's the way I do everything else. My farm is an organism, and it's got to be a closed organism. My farm isn't a closed organism because I don't have a pooper I can call my own. I need a lactating cow, a dairy cow, a girl cow, because I need the poop. But I don't have enough pasture land to have a pooper I can call my own, so I gotta buy poop. But so buy. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you said you were buying like dehydrated cat poop at one
No,
time?
no cow.
Oh, it was cow manure?
Oh,
okay.
yes.
I think it's something else, motherfucker.
I don't think that's a shit dehydrated. Yeah, Purina chow.
All I need is, you can tell me how to bag it up and I'll ship it to you. I have 15 horses, how much you need?
Let me tell you about horses. Horses, bad.
I know it has to dry out. And
No, I can tell you why. First of all, because, you follow a recipe, right? And Steiner states specifically that it is a lactating cow. The reason why he tells us it's a lactating cow is he tells us that that's the horn of a lactating cow is an organ of digestion, okay? So it goes from the stomach of the cow up into the mouth. It gets chewed, it goes through the sinuses, up into the horn, back down. So it's an organ of digestion. So when it is removed from the cow, now we don't kill the cows, these are from cows that have already passed. Okay. There's no cow killing in our farms. We hollow out the inside of the horn, and for one of the preparations, I'll give you one preparation, it's preparation 500, it's a preparation for fertility, it's the only thing I use. So I take this horn in the fall, and I pack it with cow manure. I just pack it in the cow manure. And then I dig a hole, and I bury it, and who knows I don't. And I cover it up, and I uncover it in the spring, and it's no longer cow manure. It's got all the digested, and it looks like humus, and it smells like it. And then I take it all out of the horn, and I take a tiny little bit of the crux of my hand, and I put it in 5 gallons of water, and I stir it for about an hour. I stir it in one direction, okay, until I form a very strong vortex. Okay. When I feel that vortex is strong enough, I remove my hand, and I intentionally cause chaos instead of make away. Because all of it. And you do that for 1 hour. And while you're doing that, you're really implanting your forefront onto that water. And when you spray that, you are inviting all the nature spirits to help you in your endeavor. And I'm going to tell you, this isn't a Disney film. Yes, there are nature spirits, and you want them on your side. They help you. They help you tremendously. Biodynamics has been proven to remove DDT. Study out of Hawaii, root vegetables. There's nothing that's been noted to remove DDT. And DDT has an 80-year life, and it's right at the groundwater table now, folks. 40 years ago, we sprayed that stuff, so it's right now rising. Radiation is blocked, the spraying of the biodynamic sprays. And I'm going to give each of you a link to a movie. If we have enough time today, I'll show you the movie. It's called One Man, One Cow, One Planet. And you'll get a very good idea about biodynamics. I just need to know how many of you watch it because I pay the producer $10 for every person that views the film. And I don't want to get hurt.
It seems like the secret word now is organic. Once you put the word organic on any kind of
sophisticated shoppers in big cities all over this world. You have a lot of people,
Just, yeah, people are putting organic on there, but you can sell up to $5,000 worth a year with your organic. After that, if you're selling more than that, you have to prove yourself to be certified organic. You can't just use it willy-nilly. And ethically, you can't just use it just because that's the new phase, the new word to put on something. You have to, have the methodology of growing organically.
but in a way though, really, you're just not certified.
No, you're
I
not.
know, that's
You're
all.
not, but you have to, in order to claim organic, I'm organic, you can do that with up to a certain amount of money before you have to
You're
be
correct.
certified
Yes,
organic.
yes, you're certified.
But ethically, morally, you shouldn't be like, putting that little pesticide or that miracle grow on there a little bit here and there, and it's like, oh no, we're organic. Or going to a conventional farm and picking all their vegetables and then sell your stuff as organic. Because that has been shown, a lot of people have done that, a lot of farmers and farmers markets have been doing that. And a lot of people started to crack down on it too.
Karma.
Even at the farmers markets.
Karma, bad karma, boy. Oh, you don't want that kind of karma.
No.
You don't want that kind of karma. But biodynamic, the reason why I'm saying this to you is because this young gentleman up the ranch,
Thunder.
Thunder, he was sharing with me his markets in Chicago, and he's selling a pound of lettuce for $4. And, well, everybody's organic here, right? Is anyone there biodynamic? In any of your markets? See, I'm telling you, it really will give you an edge. It will give you an edge. Even if people don't know anything about biodynamics, they're going to come up to you and say, what is biodynamics? And it's all about relationships. It's all about, I'm growing this food for you, this nutritious food. And I was mentioning today at the house to those that were there that on our farm we check the nutritive value of the crops that we grow by using a refractometer. It's a very inexpensive device, $50.
What you call it?
Refractometer.